Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. Put the remote for the camera away. I haven't seen you guys in a few days. Been doing a ton of other stuff, but still working on the limo. We're doing some very cool things, but uh, you guys have heard me bitch and moan and cry the multiple live streams about this edge on the limo where the trunk seal is supposed to go, and this car hasn't had a trunk seal since I've owned it. So I'm guessing it hasn't had a trunk seal since it was built, since the hot tub was installed and everything else. So it's going to be probably 20 plus years without a trunk seal. And I just kept bitching about it, kept bitching about it. And I was on Amazon the other day, and I'm like, you know what? Let's find a trunk seal for it. So I got 20 feet of trunk seal, and this stuff is super basic, and it's not very expensive. I can look it up, but I'll look it up quick. That was 20 feet. And also, we're using a new mic. I got a new microphone, so you guys will have to tell me if the mic sounds a little bit better. And I hate the little green light, but that's all these mics. They don't put the light on the back; they put it on the front. So let's take a look here and look at our orders. Thong swim trunk, thong swim trunk. Here it is. It is, sorry, it was $16 for 20 feet. I'm sure that's extremely difficult to see, but if you guys want, let me know and I'll put a link up to it. It is extremely basic. That's what it looks like. And the edge goes in that lower part, and then you have the little rubber that crushes down. So it was less than 20 bucks, less than $1 a foot. And they have tons of other stuff, and they have different shapes and sizes. And you can also get it at a right angle for like door seals and for any other stuff you want to seal. It also comes in different heights and different grabbies, different widths. So this one is a very small width, and it also has an inner grip that actually touches, so it's going to grip on. So I wanted to show you guys how to do this when you get the seal stuff, and how to get it to fit really, really nice. What we're going to do is we're going to have the seam actually up at the top edge in the front up here, and I'm going to do my best to find center on the car. It's a little difficult. I kind of have to go off the trunk. But the one thing we're going to have to do is clean out. They cleaned out all the old urethane and glue from the sides, but they did not get the back edge where the window used to be. And I'm going to grab a light here and get it up here so you guys can see a little better. I'll bring you over in a second. So this whole top edge needs to be cleaned out. There's old foam and old urethane that's still in there. So we're going to scrape that stuff out, and then we're going to measure. We're going to run it from the far side, run it all the way around to the near side. That'll give us our basic halfway point, and then we'll do very small trims up to that point, and then it'll lock in place, and you should have a very, very tight seal up at the front. It's very simple to do. It's a one-person gig. The only pain in the ass is removing all of that crap that's in the channel there, all that old stuff. Otherwise, this is a 2-minute job. So I'm going to bring you guys over, and we'll take all that urethane out, and you can get to see how this is going to come out of here, and how stuff is going to go in. So you can see the new PDC there. I'll save that for later. So all along this edge up here is this stuff, this old urethane, and it has to come out in order for that stuff to seat in correctly. So we have to scrape all that out, and you can see there's an original trim piece here. I'm guessing this is this was probably rubber too, but it was also probably part of the back window, part of the back windowsill, like where the speakers go and all that. But yeah, we need to get this crap out of here. And yeah, it's just old foam and old urethane. So we're going to select our tools. Not quite sure what I'm going to use yet. I have not really decided. We'll obviously use a brush to get the rest of the stuff out. We might actually just use air. I can use, I don't know if this guy fits in there. Yeah, he does an okay job. Of course, we'll have to vacuum out the trunk again, too. Yeah, this is all of the stuff that comes out. I don't know, maybe if you're lucky, you can rip some of it out. But I'll show you guys what comes out. And that's all in between this sharp edge and that other edge. So I'm just going to put this in the garbage for right now. I thought I had a good trim stick for this, but I really don't. So I'm just going to use my pry bar, and that's going to work. I think that's going to work pretty well. I am going to get another light because I need to be able to see in this channel while I'm doing this. I might have to come from the other direction. No, I can get a this. So yeah, this is just old foam and very old urethane. Now, if we were putting glass back in here, we would definitely want this, because this is technically this is called your rain rail. And this is where the rain comes down, gets stopped by the trunk seal, and goes around and falls down the car and falls out. So you could call this a rain rail, which is probably the correct term for it. And you could probably use a wire brush or a wire wheel. Get this stuff out. Well, pry bar is working pretty good. See, here's a big chunk of the old. This is the old urethane and foam weather stripping. Now, since this car doesn't go out in the rain anymore, or at least we tried to keep it out of the rain, not too concerned about the rain rail. what we are concerned about is water spilling out of the hot tub into the trunk. That is a concern. We don't want that. So if we have our rain rail working, water a little bit can at least be caught by this and sent out. And with any good fortune, the rubber seal also helps keep it out of the trunk. So yeah, my big concern is this edge. This front edge needs to be as clean as possible, and then we'll get the rest of the crap out of here. Yeah, old urethane's a pain in the ass, and old foam is not good. So yeah, oh, if you're lucky, you can get a big strip like that. Yeah, I guess if you wanted to, you could say this is SEMA prep, even though this car's never going to SEMA. I shouldn't say never. Might go to SEMA one day, but probably not. Probably not. All right, let's come from this side. There we go. And see, this is stuff when they originally built the car, it would have been a lot easier to take care of this when they had all this stuff apart. They had the trunk out and all the glass. The top was gone, all of that. But now it's much more difficult. You got so much stuff in the way. It's not like I can just pop that hot tub out, right? That would be pretty slick, though. If the hot tub just came out and you could park it. There's another big piece right here. I'm trying to peel off. It's being stubborn. And again, this is just a little extra because all I really need is just this inside, the inside edge here to be smooth and no urethane on it, because that's where this guy grabs onto. And if we really want to, if we're having leaking problems, we can come back and we can put urethane in there and then put this guy back in, and that will totally seal up this edge. But I'm pretty sure we want the drainage. That's a big thing. even though it's not raining, we're dealing with a bunch of water. This urethane is really in there. Maybe they add extra in the corners. It's also when you have this car totally apart and all the glass and you're just down to the frame and stuff, this is when you walnut blast things, all this stuff goes away. It just disintegrates. So pretty clear up to about the halfway point here. Again, just trying to make sure this front face is clear. It looks pretty darn good on my side. Let's see, anybody else here? Okay. Yeah, I know it's late. It's also cold. It's cold here in Florida. Yeah, I might actually run the vacuum. Hopefully you guys can tolerate that. For a couple of minutes while I get this stuff out of here. Oh, I think that was a bug. Maybe. Yeah, that front edge right there is pretty clean. Let's get the bottom face, the corner cleaned out a little bit better. It's a lot better. Yeah, we might grab a tube of urethane later and make sure all this stuff remains sealed. But I definitely want to check and see how well water disperses before doing anything like that. Sometimes you think you're helping, you're actually making it worse. This isn't like super difficult. It's just very hard to access. You've got a couple of pieces that are sandwiched in here. There we go. That's a lot better. That's the stuff you miss. I think you got it. Then it all shrapnels apart on you. Okay. At the very least, we're going to do some new paint underneath here. What's really cool is, and I don't know if you guys can see this, these little acorns inside here. It's actually old school panel bond. It's super old school, hardcore adhesive to keep the lower section and the top section of the trunk together. It's kind of neat. I mean, it's like old school, like 50s, maybe even 40s era. But you don't see that now. There's the adhesives we have now are 100 times stronger, 100 times cheaper, and they just work a lot better. So let's grab a brush, and we're just going to do a brass brush and see if we can get a little extra out of here. These brushes you get from Harbor Freight, they're like totally disposable. It says steel wire brush, but I mean, these are like $2. And they're great for pulling up adhesive pieces and stuff. And stuff you can't really see or get your fingers into. even just lifting stuff up so that you can get to it. Peel it out of there. So like this big piece right here. Big chunk of the old. Yeah, it's also given us, we can paint that too if we really wanted to. It's probably not a bad idea, considering it's going to be totally exposed. So this is where it gets weird. You don't have the leverage you want. I just sliced my hand open. Do you know how sharp this shit is? I'll show you as soon as the bleeding starts. All right, well, I can see that piece. I just can't get it out of there. Okay. Oh, yeah. You want to see how sharp that shit is? That's how sharp that stuff is. Let me wash the tetanus out of this. Yeah, that thing's sharp. Now you guys know why I don't want to, put my hand on the edge here to get in and out of the trunk, because it's sharp. So I'm gonna grab the vacuum while we're doing a Band-Aid break, and I'm gonna suck some of this stuff up, and then we'll lay the thing and cut it. I am going to mute you guys while we run the shop vac, just because it's so loud. And I know how annoying that can be. Oh, yeah. It's bleeding good. All right. Time for a shop bandage. You guys know about shop bandages? So you take a paper towel. I'm going to take a little section of paper towel. I'm going to fold it in half. And then around the wound, you can get some of the blood off there. You can keep pressure. So you go around the wound once or twice. Now you need to make sure that you still have access to this finger or fingers. Oh, there it is. Electrical tape and a pair of scissors to cut the electrical tape. Even though this takes 3 times longer than actually going and getting a bandage. And I wrapped in the wrong direction, but that's okay. Nope, you should stick to my finger instead of actually. So we're wrapping nice and snug. We're not trying to cut off circulation, but we definitely want to stop the bleeding. And with electrical tape, you can do that. You can get some good tension on there. And you want to make sure it doesn't fall off too. And it doesn't take much more than a lap or two. And now you have a shop bandage. It is low class, but it's low cost, and it's right here. I didn't have to. I didn't have to use one of my uh, Lilo and Stitch bandages, which is good news. Let me grab power, which is over here for the maintainer, which we don't need right now. And I have 50 feet of extension cord. But for some reason, it can't go another 5. So make sure we're plugged in right. And now I'm going to mute you guys while I do this, okay? So I'll be back in just in a minute. You can watch the whole thing while I mute you. Cool, we're back. Done with the brush. Done with the headphones. By the way, just get a simple set of headphones. They're 10, 15 bucks. Save your ears. Even when you're doing regular stuff like this, like a vacuum, it just saves your ears. You only get one set, man. Got to protect them a little. Just protect them a little. You don't have to protect them a lot. Oh, God. You just have to protect them a little. All right. Whew. Plug our maintainer back in. Keep that battery going. And now we have a clean top edge up there. And I'm going to get rid of set it off to the side. And we can now put our trim in here. The other cool part about this trim is you can take it out and put it back in, take it out and put it back in. You can do that multiple times if you really want to. But the only thing I'll probably do is you can see some of this is just old paint. And since we wire brushed it, I might pull that top edge back and paint in there just to protect that metal. Unprotected metal is awful. And you guys saw I was messing with some stuff down here. It looks like something came in from the trunk, dripped down. And I don't know if that was rainwater or what, but it caused the truck bed liner to lift. So I'll come back here and do new truck bed liner. That's pretty painless, but that was kind of odd. So it's another good reason we're installing this stuff. So put our scraper back. And this is 20 feet, which I think is going to be a little bit much. Although 6, 4, it should be pretty close. 6, 3.5, something. So if you do 6 across, 3.5, or 3, that's 9 times 2 is 18. So, well, they always wrap this up so nicely. Oh, it has a weird smell. No, it smells like rubber. Okay, I'm just making sure. So it all comes as one big piece. You get them in a bunch of different lengths. You can get 50, 100 feet, whatever. So just unravels like this, and I'll show you the end. That's what it looks like. And that sharp edge clips in here. And then this rubber seal opens when the trunk's open and it partially closes down. Now, this is metal, so you're going to need pliers to cut this or some kind of wire cutters to cut this. And then you can just use regular. What I like to do is when I'm measuring this, I'll just use regular scissors to mark the spot where I need to cut. And then the other trick is to do 4 or 5 trims. So do it a little long, then trim back a little bit, then trim back a little bit, test fit, trim back a little bit, test fit. That way you get the smoothest bump between the two sides. So let's start. We'll start on this side. And I'm just going to set them in place. Definitely not going to lock them in place. Yeah, see, because it has to hook on everything. I swear, you guys, I could be Batman any day of the week. So let's do this. I can hook on the smallest angle piece. Over here, I'm just going to kind of pre-lay this out. I'm going to come around you guys. Open them up. Okay. It goes through here. And we can still get all of our twists and turns in. All right, let's see if we can find. I'm going to use the screw as the halfway point because I believe that is correct. Now, of course, this is not cut straight, so I'm going to go a little extra on this guy. And you don't need any tools to do this. And most of the time, it's ambidextrous. So you can put it in this way or that way. Like we could have started this on the other side. So just line it up, and you can feel it sink down into position. It gets a little weird in the corners, but we are fully capable of handling that. Yeah. You get a little bit of flexibility, but not a ton. So it's not like a vinyl wrap where you'll be able to heat it up and flex it around corners or go over, big radiuses or anything like that. Oh, it even looks nice, doesn't it? Oh, we gotta. We have a new piece now, so we have to go around it. So yeah, you can do it in kind of big sections and then come back and seed all of it later. This is where it gets difficult, where two panels are met. They're meeting right here and they're welded together. And this thing has to go over two razor blades. That's going to grip good. Just make sure you get them seated there. Oh, this is 5,000 times better. And the good news is, if this tears or rips or whatever, it's quick and easy to replace. You know what? I have to do a little correction here. Oops. And this isn't going to take very long, but I do have to make a little bit of noise. So please excuse me for a second. It just needs to get straightened out a little bit. Sorry. I don't mean to hammer with you guys on there. But I think with all the ins and outs of the trunk, we got a little bit of bend right there. Coming up to the near corner here. And this guy's nice. He just wants to lay in position here. Here again is a overlap of the two body panels. It's tight. And I got you guys right there. So let me come to this side. It's a good thumb workout. But yeah, this has been a long time coming, right? Now, the only downside is we can't really, well, we can close the trunk all the way, but we can't latch it. That part kind of sucks, but we will figure out how to do it. We should at least be able to feel the bouncy part. That's hard. Let me come over here and finish this. There he goes. All right, so bring that up there. And I'm just going to pull them straight across on the other side. This gets any twists out, I think, and makes it a little bit easier for us to cut. I think. I don't know. Most of the stuff on modern cars is all plastic because it's cheaper. Everything's so incredibly disposable, including people, which is fairly sad. So there we go. We'll come back and do a reverse lap. Now there's a tie mark right there from where it was tied closed. Yeah, if you do the palm of your hand like that, it covers way more space. Okay, so now let's cut this guy. We're probably going to pull that off a couple of times. So for cutting and then wire cutting, what are we going to use? I guess we can just use the big boys. But we're going to come over here and we're going to go big for now, right? And I'm not sure if these guys will actually, they'll walk right through it. So there we go. This is our extra, which we can coil up and save because we might need it somewhere else. We never know. So, dude, little tiny wolf spider or huntsman spider, really small guy, little tiny guy. He was on the bench over there. So here is our center point. We're still on our center point with the screw here. So again, we can come back. Let's see how close we can get here. Oh, you didn't want to cut right there. And we're pretty close. I think actually right here is going to be a lot closer. I'm doing this top seal portion at a little bit of an angle that way. And that way, hopefully he reaches the other guy. Pretty cool. If you really wanted to, you could probably put something in here, a piece of foam inside to make sure those perfectly match up. But these are our two cuts that we did. The one major cut, then the one smaller cut. Just use wire cutters. Big boy. They call them dikes. It's not my name for them. And a pair of scissors for the rubber trim. And this guy, I want to seat. There he goes. Maybe? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think if those guys are even, then we have a nice cover. So there we go. Rubber trim on here. God, I know. So original, right? By the way, I haven't seen a huntsman spider in weeks. That was the first one I've seen in probably 3 weeks. I thought they all moved out of here. All right. So you guys know what this deserves. A successful project, mostly completed. Like I said, I'm probably going to take that out, put on some masking tape. I don't even know if I'll do masking tape, but I want to get some paint in that little trough just to protect that metal. But yeah, it's rockstar time. Who's here? Can I see the limo? Yeah, sure, man. Hey, Liz. Yeah, no more sharp edges. We like that. No more razor blades. So hang on, man. I'll pull the camera back a little bit. First, before I do that, because we're going to check the trunk lid in a second, and that way you can get a full view. Let me throw this away. Recycle this. Sorry. So I want to show you guys just a quick update. Whoa, come back here, microphone. Where'd you go? There you are. I want to show you guys a quick update on the power distribution center. So this is our PDC for the back, which you guys saw. So today I ran the cable for switched power because for our license plate, our custom wired relays for our license plate, we need switched power. This one is full-time power. We need switched power, which has its own fuse, why we don't use this, but we need switched power for it to go up. Full-time power takes it down. So I'm like, I'm just going to bring switched power all the way back. Instead of just hot wiring to the fuel pump, I'm just going to do a line, because then here on the PDC, on inside this fender, because it mounts like this, I will have switched power at the trunk that I can use for our spare relays. I can use for pump switching or valve switching or whatever for the tank. It's just a smarter idea. And I ordered a couple of very small bus bars. They're not as big as these bus bars. Little small guy, 6 lug. And I got really lucky because these 2 previous screws that were here for the old door openers, door popper remote, they're the exact same size that I need for that. So I'm going to use these 2 screws. We're going to mount this right here, and we're going to have switched power at the PDC, which is pretty damn cool. So I'll switch power at the front of the car, and I'll switch power at the back of the car. Very excited about that. So we'll set this guy here and here. And I am going to unplug the maintainer again. So yeah, now I'll show you guys the limo. Hang on, I got crap on the trunk here. I have to get rid of. Some of you guys haven't seen it yet. Let's get the lights out of here because we're done in the trunk for now. I think that came out pretty nice. You can tell where the tape marks were or where the rope marks were and where it was folded, like right here. And with any good fortune over time, those just open. But yeah, this is so much better when you put your hand here, just resting it. You're just like, oh, it's not razor sharp anymore. So let's see how well that works. Move this out of the way. And here's the thing, we don't need the prop rod for the trunk because it actually stays right here. That's the OEM height. Now you have the extra height, and I have no clue. I guess they just don't make rods because this trunk is crazy heavy. I guess they don't make pneumatic rods that push it up that high. Maybe I might research that. But that's why I have the prop rod, is to get that extra height. Plus I'm 6'1", so it's a huge pain. So let's see, right? Oh, it's soft now. Yeah, it actually, I can feel it touching. And then when it closes, because it'll catch about here, and then the trunk pull down will pull it down the rest of the way. And I can feel it. I don't think you guys can hear that. But yeah, it's definitely rubber sealing. So I'm very pleased with that. Yeah, you can't really tell. There was a rubber seal here at one time. You can see the witness mark on the old paint. This car was originally brown. So yeah, that's going to work really nice. All right. Let's back it up. Did you restore the limo? Restore isn't really the right word for that. So I'm going to back the camera up and you can take a look at the limo. I don't think restore is the right term. Wait till you see this. All right. So we'll come back. This is a 1980 Cadillac Fleetwood limousine. It's about the best shot I can get right now. And whoops, I got more garbage over here. This is a 1980 Cadillac Fleetwood limousine. And it's currently on the ramps because I was doing stuff underneath the car. And I don't have a lift in this shop. So this is 26 feet long. It's 25 feet 4 inches, 25 feet 5 inches long. It is, he messed it up. Yeah. It's, I can close that door for you too. Well, I'll show you the interior and stuff. So this is a chop top. Obviously there's no roof on it. And it has a 3-person 7-stripper hot tub in the back. It currently has a 383 stroker, which is 485 horsepower and 490 foot-pounds of torque. And this thing will do huge smoky burnouts. I don't have a quarter-mile time on it yet, but we'll definitely do a quarter-mile time on it. We're on air. We're on 100-spoke Dayton's. And this thing goes within about 1.5 inches of the ground. It's just the exhaust. The shop that did the exhaust did a very, very shitty job. I was trying to think of a nicer term than shitty, but that's the best I can come up with. And so I can't really lay frame, but I can come really damn close. If the exhaust gets corrected and I take the bumpers out, the bump stops on the rear axle and the ones on the front axle, it'll definitely lay frame. Have almost 10 inches of travel in the back, 8 inches of travel up front. So it is an insanely smooth ride. Yeah. Okay. So we'll take you, I'll roll you guys up here. I'll try and go with you because I got to sit kind of to the side. So there's a bunch of stuff in the hot tub right now. This is, including bugs. There's a couple of bugs. This is the prop rod for the car cover. So it goes in the main drain. The car cover goes up there, and it makes like a big tent so that rain and everything else comes off of it. So that kind of stays in here. And then we have the other battery maintainer that's in here as well. This is the for the hood ornament on the front of the car, which you can't really see because it's in front of the garage. This has a slit in it. The hood ornament goes right here, and that way the car cover doesn't get shredded by the hood ornament. So those guys just kind of rest there, and they don't travel with the car. They only come, they'll stay here at the shop because I'm not going to have the car cover out wherever we're going. We're not taking the car cover with us. So let me hop behind the camera here, and you can check out some of the interior. Kind of. I'll bring you guys a little closer, down a little more, and let me hop in here. So this is another fun thing about the car. When they put the hot tub in, there's a steel frame on this. Like, you can stand on it. You can walk all around the tub. There's a big steel frame that goes all the way to the back. So you can walk all around the tub. This is actually a walking surface. It will hold the weight. When they did this, they did the frame and then put it in the car, and they slid it forward to the A pillar, which is right here, or sorry, the B pillar, which is right here. The reason they did that, they had to slide it a little bit forward because otherwise the car is at a folding point and you lose the structure with the door, and it becomes a folding point with the weight of the water between 1,000 and 1,500 pounds. You now risk the car, canoeing. So they slid that forward. Now, when they slid that forward, they had to do a whole bunch of interior mods. First off, they removed the dash. I don't know if you know, original Cadillac 80s dashes would come out probably a foot, maybe more. So the dash is gone, glove box, all of the gauges. There's no gauges. I have the original gauge cluster that has the original mileage and stuff. That's for like titling the car. But there's no gauges in here. So there's no speedometer, there's no gas gauge, there's no oil pressure, no nothing. So you kind of have to hope for the best. But again, this car was built for a music video. It only had to go like 100 feet. It didn't have to do anything. It had a really shitty engine, had straight pipe exhaust. It had these dumb 23s on there. It was silly. So trying to make this a reasonable cruiser car that's a lot of fun to take to events, and if you could get on the highway, great. But I also want it to be a 100-mile-an-hour car. So had this thing at about 82, 83 miles an hour with a little bit of air in the bags. It's kind of low, and it feels great. It's actually a really cool cruiser. So anyway, they take all the dash out, and they jacked up a ton of the wiring. So I've spent a lot of time underneath this very tiny dash redoing a lot of the wiring, like a lot. When they moved the tub up, they had to cut that out so that everything had to move forward. So you move everything forward, the steering column had to be shortened, and it's shortened by about 6 inches. When you shorten the steering column, you can't have column shift anymore. So they did the floor shifter. They added this obnoxious steering wheel, and you would not believe how expensive this thing is. You'll have to go look this up. With the 6 guns and the bullets. You'll have to go look this up. And yeah, the one thing they did do though is they hired the right fiberglass guy, because this stuff, those door cards with the stupid speakers in them, they've got to be 40 pounds each, at least. The fiberglass work is amazing. This stuff, this is probably 3/4 inch thick. That's probably 5/8. This is 3/4 through here. This console is about 5/8 thick, and the console does move. We can take the console in and out, and we have wiring stuff that's running through there. And we also have the sniper, which is going to be, it's going to be something totally different. This is a temporary setup. This is just so when I'm tuning the car and getting it ready to go, I don't have to continually look down at the ground and all of that. There's other kind of temporary that will not be seen things, like this is our little gauge pack. This has our gas gauge in it. I actually put a real, first time in 30 years it has a gas gauge. And then on this side we have this gauge, which is our PSI for all of our bags. And that goes in this side, and this is the switch to turn it on and off because it's a powered system. This works off of keyed, and this will tuck in a floorboard. I don't need to look at it all the time. I definitely wanted to keep the dash clean, and we'll figure out a different method for this. But for the time being, it's a $20 gauge. That gauge came with the kit. It's a $10 fake carbon fiber thing. I can put a, suction cup base on it or whatever and stick it somewhere, but it'll hang out in the passenger compartment, or we can actually tuck it underneath the hot tub. So, yeah, again, this won't be up here permanently. We want a super clean setup. The reason I have this steering wheel condom is because of Florida. This goes on when you're outside and that aluminum is in the sun, it gets insanely hot. So I have this on to protect not only the wheel, but also the hands. The carpet is simple AstroTurf, and that's getting replaced. The original was okay, but it's degraded over years and years and years. The whole floor has been TBL'd. There's truck bed liner from here almost all the way to the back. And like I said, we have a 383 stroker and we have a TH400. The downside on this car is we have a 10-bolt rear, which I really don't want. I would really like a 12-bolt rear, not only because I want the extra torque to move all the water, but also because I don't want to do peg leg burnouts. The car does have a line lock in it. You can call it launch control if you want. But down here on the wall, I don't know if you'd be able to hear this. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear the switch. There's a line lock button. So it'll lock up the front calipers and the rear spin free. That was one of the first things I put on here when I redid the front brakes and all new brake lines and stuff. This car is going to be a very cool cruiser. It's very close to getting done. The paint on here was absolutely dreadful. It had these geometric, like polygon patterns that were just terrible. And I looked at it for months and months when it was at my shop in Ohio, and I couldn't take it anymore. And I came out and I sanded them all down. And so you can still see the remnants on the side of the car. And then I just painted, gloss white over it and just called it good. Like I said, the guys who built this, they did a pretty good job. They did really bad wiring. The mechanicals, the powertrain was a joke, but again, it just needed to move 100 feet. They don't need to, they're not going from Naples to Tampa. They're only going 100 feet down the road. So they weren't too worried about any of the electronics and stuff. That was very simple. But the rest of the car is very well built. This gel coat is incredible. The fiberglass work is awesome. There's actually, you can do pull-ups on this windshield. Like I'll try and hang myself up. Okay. You can do pull-ups on the windshield. It's that strong. So they reinforced this really well, and like the door cards and stuff like that. Just redoing the wiring, putting the new engine in there was a challenge. The Blueprint engine is fantastic, and then I removed the carb from the Blueprint and put in the Sniper, and now it starts every time. Little tweaks with the transmission, and we'll be okay. The Blueprint engine runs fantastic. Again, little tweaks with the Sniper, and it'll be super awesome. So it is absolutely a work in progress. I'm going to go around the other side and grab you guys. But it is very close. Like I said, the last thing is going to be the paint. And the good part is it's just a simple paint job. It's just going to be gloss white. And I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of still see, I don't know. I'm sure if I got a light on it, you can see some of the geometric shapes that are still sort of here. When I wipe the car down, I'm sure it'll show up. What do we got? We should hear it. Yeah, it's after midnight. My neighbors have a kid, so no. Plus, it runs really rich right now, so yeah, it'll smoke me out. Was it wrecked? Nope, it wasn't wrecked. Yeah, the air system. I'll show you where the air system is. The air system is actually underneath this section right here, and it's up on the wall. So when water spills out and goes down behind the driver's seat, there's no wires or any components on the floor. Everything is up on the wall. The door panels are all still there. So on the door panels and the C-pillar, there's a C-pillar and a D-pillar on this car. On the pillars here, the tank is up there. All the wiring, the two compressors are actually horizontally mounted. There's two compressors on this. It fills up pretty quickly to 300 psi, and it's not horribly loud either. How much would you say it weighs? It's currently, without water, without the tanks, without the hot tub pump, it's about, I think it was 4,800 pounds. And let's see, I'm going through your guys' questions here. Yeah, it does sound pretty good, cold starting. Oh, what's under the tarp? Oh, I'll show you that one too. If it is what I think it is, yeah, it's what you think it is. All right. So we'll come over here. See, I thought you were asking about the Miata. I'm like, it doesn't have the car cover on it. I love that car, man. So is that the car you were asking about the tarp? Oh, yeah. By the way, the seats just come right out of the limo. They're just low back ones. So this is the car you were asking about. Some dead bugs on the car cover. It's a 2008 Dodge Viper SRT10 Aero Coupe. That's what's under the tarp. Did you guess right? Yeah. Yeah, this is an amazing car. I tracked this car for 2 years, and it doesn't go to the track anymore because I have other race cars, but this thing's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And because I have a much more condensed shop down here, I keep the cover on it. Plus, so many bugs. Holy shit, are there a lot of bugs in Florida? So, yeah, and then the other vehicle I have down here is the tow vehicle. I have the Ram truck down here too. That's parked right in front of the Miata. And then in Ohio, I have, what do I have? 4 other vehicles? 1, 2, 3. I have 4 other vehicles in Ohio. Am I down to 8? No, I'm down to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then MR6, Monza, Jeep, and SRT4. So I have 4 up there. So I guess I'm at 8. I was at 9. What else? I said Porsche, but my first guess was right. Yeah, I could see that with the GT2 RS, GT3 RS wing. Yeah, this is fun. A lot of the stuff I have is for racing, which I absolutely love doing. Like the Miata, you can see the Miata here. This thing's awesome. And track the Miata. Uh, it's also a fun loaner car if you have a friend who wants to go to the track and they've never been to the track before. Take the Miata because it's so hard to get in trouble with it. And so, done a ton of work on the Miata. That one's fun at the track. The MR6 is a '87 Toyota MR2 with the Camry V6 in it. Absolutely love that thing. It's fun. We race it in lemons, do autocrosses with it. And then I just bought a 1977 Monza 2+2 Spider, which is also that is a straight lemons car. There's nothing. It's not going to SEMA ever. It's straight for lemons. It's V6, it's M22 4-speed. It has side pipe, almost side pipe exhaust. It's like comes mostly out the side, not quite all the way out the side. It is rough. It is rough, but it's also when you can run lap after lap after lap. It has the 4.3 V6 out of the Chevy van, which are 200,000-mile engines, and you can get them almost anywhere. So that was a super cheap car. We're just going to get it up to spec. So we need. I have belts for it. We need to swap out the seat and do the fire bottle. The fire bottle needs recertified, and that car's ready to go. And it'd be nice to get an extra set of wheels and tires. Oh yeah, we need new tires on that car too. But and then the other one is the uh, '05 Neon SRT4 ACR. That was a factory built race car. It's John Fernandez's old car. And we were actually talking about that online today. There's a bunch of folks on Facebook that had asked about it. And that one is the other race car. When I stopped racing with Studio 47, I got the SRT4 and tracked that, which means I stopped tracking the. Actually, I stopped tracking the Viper. Was racing for Studio 47. Then I raced the SRT4. So it was one of those. The Viper was great. I also tracked my '06 Viper, my Gen 3, and that was a ton of fun as well. So it's hard to not have fun at the track in a Viper. It's also hard to not have fun at the track in a Miata. If you can't have fun at the track in a Miata, I cannot help you. You take up stained glass, considering opening up a uh, sports swap shop. There's not you're not cut out for it. So you will always have fun in a Miata at the track. Am I bringing the limo to SEMA? No. Nope. No SEMA for me this year. I am probably going to PRI this year. Depends on schedule. I've got a wedding to go to in December in Ohio, so depending on how all that schedule works, I'll probably go to PRI. But I'm not going to SEMA. SEMA's one of those. It's kind of hard to explain. Um, it's so hard to find the cool new stuff because the culture is so different. And so to find the cool new stuff is, I mean, it's a serious quest. Where before, when you went to SEMA, I've gone a couple times. Before, when you go to SEMA, you can actually, oh, well, I'm going to go see XYZ company because they have a cool new suspension. I'm going to go see, ABC company because they have a new intake for 351s or 302s or whatever. And it was very easy to have that short list and to find those people that you wanted to talk to and go visit. Now it's a lot of flash and what I call strippers and pyro. And there's a lot of fake and there's other stuff that like should not be there, but somehow they got in, and you're like, okay, obviously, you know, whatever. It doesn't have the same. The culture is so different. It's not what it used to be, and so with it flipping over to you had dealers and builders and customizers and companies talking to other companies. Now it's switching over to influencers and car guys and all of this, and it's starting to fall the other way, and that makes it not very much fun to be there. Um, so it's one of those, like, you don't want to you want to go there for the cool new stuff. You don't really care about the cool new people. That's the For me, that's how it is. That's great. They can go do whatever they want, but when they start to outnumber the people who are there for the cool new stuff, that's when it gets difficult. So SEMA, the last probably 4 years, has really tipped over that edge, and they're they're letting the other thing is they're giving badges to non-car people who think cars are neat or should all be pink, or that's sexist. So, and I can't say everyone should drive a G Wagon because that's also sexist. What else can I say? They don't, um, they're into cars for the wrong reason. How's that? So that's why this would be fun at SEMA. I think it'd be great, especially in Vegas in late October, early November. This thing would be awesome. It's a perfect strip cruise car. Tell me I'm wrong, except for the driver, because they moved everything forward. So you sit kind of close, you sit kind of NASCAR to the steering wheel. But it's not that bad to drive. So it'd be the perfect car for that. It'd be a ton of fun. And the other cool part is you have this huge billboard along the side of the car. You could promote the shit out of whatever you wanted. You know, print up a what 6x3 vinyl and stick it on the side, each side of the car. There you go. If SEMA comes back around, it'll be a lot nicer, and it's always more fun to go to both. When you can go to SEMA, a couple weeks later you go to PRI. PRI has maintained a lot better than SEMA has. So SEMA is about the show, PRI is about the go. The PRI folks have always been very focused on the go. More horsepower, more torque, more reliability. There's not as much strippers and pyro at PRI, but there's a lot more. Hey, our airbags will do 3,600 pounds a corner, and they're also 20% cheaper than XYZs. You're like, oh, okay. Uh, what did Blueprint have? Was it Blueprint that had the half LS? I think it was. I think Blueprint had the half LS, which we were all dying for. We're like, a half LS in a Miata, 290 NA, 250 NA in a Miata, about the same weight as the BP engine block. Come on, that'd be awesome. So I don't know what Blueprint's doing with the half LS, but that was a really cool thing. Going over and talking to those guys, and then like GM, like Chevy has a huge thing. Mr. Goodwrench, all that stuff. They have a huge display there, and they have all the super badass engines. They had that. What is it? A 632. It's just a monster. It's like a New York apartment. It's so big, but it looks really great. It's like, I don't know, I think it's 1,008 horsepower or something, naturally aspirated. It's really cool. And getting to talk to the actual engineers. It's not just sales guys. It's not just girls in bikinis. It's actually the guys who are working on this stuff, the guys who are testing it, the guys who are out there, ripping it. That's who you want to talk to. That's why PRI is great, because you'll get the real deal there versus at SEMA, you get a lot of pictures taken. What else you guys say? These are all popping up very quickly. In the car shells. Yeah, the car shells with nothing under the hood. Yeah, a lot more people go to look cool. Yeah, yeah, you guys have it figured out too. Yeah, and it's one of those, the culture is always shifting and it's always moving around. It's always been very fluid and you're trying to stay with whatever, I don't want to say trend, but you're trying to stay with the culture on the positive side and not get left in the dust in the, you know, my 66 Barracuda is going to appreciate one day. I know what I've got. Watch Barrett Jackson. That guy is always, trying to hang on. But you're also, like you're trying to stay you're trying to stay at the forefront. You're trying to stay not focused and not up to date. You're trying to stay current. You don't want to be the guy who didn't know that XYZ made a 600 horsepower lawnmower engine. You don't want to be that guy. So you try and stay current and you try and stay, informed. That's what I was looking for. And that's hard to do because when you have this stuff, you're like, that's, yeah, that's great that there's a Rocket Bunny kit for G Wagons. Okay. What else? Something. Give me something. Something. Um, what's sad is now shit. Someone's gonna go do a Rocket Bunny kit for a G Wagon. Or here's the other problem. And I noticed this also. This has been 10 folding and 20 folding over the last year, maybe two. The AI shit that is coming out is so realistic and so hard to disprove that people will buy into it so fast. And it's scary. It's really scary. So when I make a joke, like right now on YouTube, I'm making a joke about a Rocket Bunny kit or not even a Rocket Bunny. Yeah, a Rocket Bunny kit. No, Rocket Bunny wouldn't do it for an AMG. Liberty Walk would do it for a G Wagon. So Liberty Walk kit for a G Wagon. Now watch. You're going to see AI pick up on this video, listen to the audio, pick out that text, and create a Liberty Walk kit for a G Wagon. And for the record, I think G Wagons are dreadful vehicles. Unless you are a Middle Eastern dictator or a Colombian drug lord, there's no reason to own. And I know there's tax breaks and all that other shit. That's fine. Figure it out. Figure something else out because those are dreadful, dreadful vehicles. And I know all the trendy hookers. I mean, Kardashians drive them. That doesn't mean you should. Look at that shop Band-Aid. Works every time. I shouldn't say every time. 60% of the time, it works all the time. Yeah, don't drive a G Wagon. But yeah, the AI stuff is going to be really scary in car culture too, because you're going to see stuff that people swear up and down is real, and it's not. It looks real. And then there's the opposite side of that. People are going to create stuff that's so outlandish and so far ahead of everyone else that people are going to think it's AI and avoid it. That's the downside. When you get something like Sizinger vehicles, go check their stuff out. Kevin and his crew have done, I mean, it's incredible what they're doing. And the ironic part is they're doing it with AI, which is really cool. So what those guys are doing is amazing. I don't think they'll be at SEMA. They might, but I don't think they will be. But check them out online. You look at their stuff, you look at their suspension components, and you're like, that's totally fake. That's, Photoshop or whatever. There's now your problem. People think that a real part, something that is taken hundreds of hours and millions of computing cycles to create is fake when it's real. You can go up and touch it. So now You have, two sides to that. What is real, but everyone thinks is fake, and what is fake that everyone thinks is real. And I saw this really bad the last couple of days with the pictures from Jamaica from the storm. And that's not a car culture thing or anything. Although there's been a lot of cool, I've seen a lot of cool Datsun 510s come out of Jamaica, and some of the older Datsuns that, yeah, they have cool car culture. I'll take it. They have cool music, great food, awesome pot, obviously. I mean, they've been doing it for hundreds of years. Anyway, you see these pictures and it shows like the Black River Inlet, and there's a before and after picture. And if you look at it, you're like, oh my God, that's massive devastation. It turns out those are fake. The other one, they had the hurricane hunters flying into the eye of the hurricane, and someone photoshopped in birds. I was talking with a friend last night or the night before about photoshopping birds into the eye of the hurricane. I'm like, all right, first off, you're looking at 200 plus miles an hour. Okay. Number one, animals are way smarter than humans. They will be gone way before that hurricane gets there. Number two, birds can't really survive that. They're not built for it. It'll snap a neck, it'll break a wing, whatever. It'll also defeather them very quickly. So you're not going to have, you know, European swallows in the eye wall of a hurricane. Next off, and this was the easy one, is the scale. Um, in order to show those birds, they had to make them very big. So these are like 8-foot birds that are in this picture. But people bought it and they're like, oh my God, those poor birds. How do you save them? Can't they do anything about that? Da, da, da. There's no real birds. Someone put them in there. So you everything has to be triple checked, quadruple checked. You got to have a person on the ground. When you see a really cool car product, you're like, hey, this thing looks really cool. Can you go to booth, 83, 82, 1 in Hall E and check that out? And now your person has to go all the way across the convention center in Vegas. Is huge. You got to go all the way across the convention center, go over to this place, and your buddy's looking for it. And they text you back, no, I don't see anything like that. I just see a little tiny thing. I don't see this 10-foot by 8-foot thing. I just see a little handheld. Okay, there you go. Now you actually it's a team effort now. Whereas before, someone would send a picture from a convention and you're like, oh my God, check that thing out. It's awesome. Didn't have to doubt them. You knew it was a real picture of a real thing. You didn't have to doubt them. Now, someone posts something, and I'm the most cynical bastard on the planet. Someone posts something, I will triple check it, quadruple check it, Google. I might actually drive there, put my hands on it myself, and then come back and say, okay, that's kind of cool. So you're at that point where you don't want to get burned and you don't want to look like an idiot. Nobody wants that. So you have to check. And it's bad now in the car scene. But it's going to get worse before it gets better. There are cool parts of the AI. If you're on Instagram, check out Motomuzi, Motomuzi. They do really cool designs and they, quote, bring them to life. But we know ahead of time they're not real. They've already explained that it's not a real thing. We're not trying to build this. We just want to show you a concept of, some stuff that we've seen that we think is cool. That's where it's cool because it stops there. You already know they've explained it ahead of time. They're not trying to fake something. They don't have a different agenda, whatever. That's where it gets really difficult. So it's hard. And I do hope that SEMA comes back where it is, Dave Kindig's latest build and Chip Foose is actually there doing a Q&A on, Friday night. That it's not one from 6 years ago that someone, changed the date on the front of it. That's what I'm really That's what I'm really hoping for, is it does change to where we can take it at face value and we can say that really is Dave Kindig climbing, the climbing the rafters to get on the roof of the convention center. That really is him, you know. So anyway, um, that's why, yeah, no SEMA for me this year. Plus, I'm I haven't heard anything that I really want to see in person. Um, I haven't heard about any builds. There's obviously all the awesome ones, the Kindig, the Ring Brothers, guys like that. They're going to deliver every single year, but I don't want to. I don't want to invest in a nice long weekend in Vegas if it's stuff that I don't have any use for and I'm not interested in, here. Um, and I do have a ton of friends in the industry, and that's great and all. But I'm going to see more of them at 24 Hours of Daytona. I'm going to see more of them at Lemons races. I'm going to see more of them at track days. So don't really need the glitz and glamour and all that. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. That's it's a lot of fun, but I don't think it's necessary for what I'm doing in the shop here. Maybe that changes. Maybe I stop building race cars and start building crazy stuff like this all the time. But in the meantime, I haven't seen anything where that it's making me go, yeah, I got to go to SEMA this year and check that out. But every year I do see something that says I got to go to PRI and talk to those guys. I got to talk to Hoosier. I got to talk to uh, Blueprint. I got to talk to uh, these guys that make Haas with their 5-axis CNC. I got to talk to those guys. I got to talk to Cometic and the guys who made the pistons for the Miata. I want to talk to them. So that's where PRI is far more useful for me than SEMA. And SEMA's fine. There's nothing bad about SEMA. It's just it's not right now. It's not what I really want. Hopefully that changes next year. Hopefully it changes the year after. Oh, okay. I got like 6 messages that all pop up. So, um, okay. All right, man. Have a good night. Yeah. Yeah. G Wagon's not good. Cool. All right. Yeah, that's it for tonight. So hopefully you guys had a good time. You saw how, let's check since it's been down for a few minutes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this dent up here will slowly but surely come out. Yeah. Oh, it's so much nicer when you have to lean on the trunk. Now, also, normally there would be a frame here and there's carpet. There's a plastic trim piece or something, and there's carpet on the inside. But yeah, that's cool. Very happy about that. It's only taken ages to get that done. So I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. Hopefully you liked going through the limo and talking about SEMA and PRI and going through the Viper and all the other cars. If you guys have any questions, comments, whatever, definitely put them down there. I'm happy to answer all of those for you. And otherwise, shoot me a text, email me, whatever. You know how to get a hold of me. I'm pretty easy to find. And don't forget to show someone that you love them. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but it is far more important for you. All right. Thanks, everyone. We will catch you next time. We'll do the PDC will be in, and we'll be doing some key turns and powering stuff on. So thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great night. No rolly stool tonight. Hmm.